I'm just gonna call you out right now.
Okay, for what?
Because I have brought this up more than once, and you keep fucking doing it.
What's that?
The fucking thumbnails, dude.
What about the thumbnails?
You keep pulling the dog shit low resolution YouTube studio versions for our social media fucking posts.
Oh, yeah. I guess that is a thing.
I'll get some context for our listeners. So when I make thumbnails for the podcast, I throw them onto a cloud that Mike and I both have access to so that he can grab them to use them in social media posts. But sometimes, not often, in fact, it's been less and less and less the longer we've gone, but sometimes I do forget to post it. So I showed Mike how he could download the thumbnail off of YouTube Studio in case I forgot. But the problem is the version that YouTube Studio will give you is very low resolution, and for some reason has a black bar on the bottom, on the top and bottom. And Mike consistently has only used those terrible versions of the thumbnails.
So the funny thing is, in the beginning, you would frequently forget to put them up on our shared cloud account. And then, like you said, you told me how to use YouTube Studio as like a workaround. And the last time you brought this up, I was like, oh crap, I gotta start pulling them off the drive. And it was like a week or 2 weeks later, I tried to do it and it wasn't up. And I was like, fucking Mac didn't put it up again. And then from that point on, I just reverted back to using YouTube Studio. But I will go back to using the drive images. I'm looking at it right now. I haven't missed a thumbnail since episode 43. So it's been 3 months since I last missed a thumbnail. So you just do it. Yeah. I
pulled up our Instagram and it's just like all these terrible versions of our thumbnails. It looks awful.
Yeah. So sorry about that. I'll make sure to get on that.
I figured if I publicly shamed you, you might fucking get your shit together.
Yeah. All right. Fine. I'll correct the issue.
How about you correct your goddamn attitude?
Yeah, for sure. Well, you know what's making my attitude feel a lot better?
What's that?
I think those little fleshlings that live upstairs and make all sorts of fucking noise moved out yesterday.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, like I came home from work and there was a moving truck. And I didn't really think anything of it because people move like in and out. And there's like 2 buildings that are connected here. So I wasn't even sure if it was someone in my building. Because we just have like the one parking lot, so they'd still have to like walk past my building to get to the next one. And then I kept hearing like the sound of a dolly going up and down the stairs, and it was super fucking loud. And the kids were like running around upstairs. But then I took Lily out last night, and I like looked up, and there was nothing on their balcony anymore. And I thought, well, maybe I just didn't pay attention to it. Maybe everything's been packed up like all winter and I'm just now noticing it. But then I heard like vacuuming upstairs at like 11:30 at night, and I haven't heard a peep out of anything upstairs at all today. So that's pretty poggers if that's the case.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. So I'm pretty pumped about that. I'm not.
I had like a scare. I had like a scare a couple days ago. I don't think so. I thought for a second that a couple with a newborn infant had moved in downstairs.
Oof.
But I don't think that's the case. Like what I do know is that for like one day, a couple hours apart, separately, I heard a baby crying, and I was like, I swear to fucking God, if there's a baby living underneath me now, I'm going to start screaming expletives in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Just to make them uncomfortable to live here. But I haven't heard anything since, so it may have just been like, it honestly, it could have been like someone on their balcony in a different building entirely that I could just hear really well, or it could have been like, I don't know, someone visiting the people who moved in downstairs. I don't even know if anyone moved in downstairs. I just think someone did. So
I gotcha. My only concern with the loud ass neighbors moving out upstairs is if it's someone that's like super nice and quiet, like I don't want to all of a sudden be the noisy neighbor, because I just didn't give a fuck. Like not that I'm really a noisy person, but you know, on like weekends, sometimes I'd just be like streaming music like through my TV until like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, fuck it. I don't care. I don't care if they're annoyed. I have to listen to their shit all the time.
Yeah, I got you. That's what I was like with my my last upstairs neighbors.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens, but I think it'll be okay. Like, you know, my downstairs neighbors have never complained about me, and they're not super loud except when I just hear bass coming from their apartment for like 4 hours straight. But day to day they're not bad, so they haven't complained about me.
This is the only time I've ever like filed a complaint against somebody who lives in the same building as me. The people who live in the apartment across from me keep just leaving their trash outside their door.
Yeah, that happens in my building too.
I got sick of it. I was like, I have to walk past this every day, and it's gross. Like I don't want to see it. So I snitched. I told on them.
I'll admit I have done it on occasion, but it'll be like I'll put it in the hallway at like 10 o'clock at night, and then when I'm leaving for work at like 8 in the morning, I'll take it to the dumpster and throw it away. So it's not like it's sitting out all day, you know, and it's maybe like once a month I'll do that.
Theirs would sit there for multiple days.
Oh, okay. No, that's not acceptable.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly valid.
Okay. Yeah, no, you have every right to be pissed. Ugh. The other thing I'll do sometimes is I'll throw it out on my balcony for the night, because then nobody has to deal with it inside.
That's good. That's a good solution.
Yeah. Yeah. Ideally, that's what I do. But yeah, sometimes you just gotta snitch. Snitchers gotta snitch.
I try I try super hard not to let stuff like that bother me, because like the thing we've brought up a million times, like you got to pick your battles. There's some things that just aren't worth fighting, but also like when you become that guy who's like telling on everybody, like, you know, you paint a target on your back for other people to pay close attention to what you're doing.
Right. Exactly.
And I definitely do enough stuff as a resident that I don't want that. Like I don't want people giving me noise complaints when I'm doing 24-hour live streams.
Yeah, I get that. You know, and part of it too, like it's apartment living. Like you're sharing walls with other people and ceilings and floors. Like part of that just comes with the territory. Like you have to expect that there's going to be noise from your neighbors. It's not like you're living in like a detached house and, you know, your neighbor that's like 100 feet away is blasting music. That would be super annoying, but you know, whatever.
Yeah, it's just reality. It is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it is reality. Oh. Speaking of reality, this is something that I've wanted to bring up, and I don't know how great it's going to actually translate to the podcast. Hopefully you know exactly what I'm talking about, and this will work out. But are you familiar with something called the Mandela Effect?
Yes, I am.
That is a super interesting topic, isn't it?
It is. It is very interesting. And I actually have like a little bit of an experience with it that I can share.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, basically, for those of you who don't know what the Mandela Effect is, more or less it's where like the collective like society believes something happened one way or looks or is spelled a certain way, but that is definitely not the case. But for whatever reason, it gets ingrained in our heads incorrectly. Yeah, and it's based on Nelson Mandela, who died, I believe it was like 2013. But a good portion of the population, like, they swear they remember him dying in like the 80s or 90s.
Yeah. So that's where the name comes from.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your example?
This was like a long time ago on stream. And I don't know honestly why at the time I didn't just pull it up. But it was something like that, like my one of my film studies teachers pointed out, and like after he told me it, I was like, wow, that's super weird. In Star Wars, A New Hope.
Okay.
You know, there's the scene, and there's the scene where, you know, Darth Vader reveals to Luke that he's his father, right? Big scene, big important scene.
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about. This is one of the examples I had looked up too.
Yeah, so like I was on stream talking about this, and I was like, you know, popularly, that scene, the line that everyone recognizes from that scene is Luke, I am your father.
Correct.
But that is not the line that is said.
Sure isn't.
He says, no, I am your father.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like I said that on stream, and I had a bunch of jackasses who were watching be like, no, that's not true. No, I've seen Star Wars 1,000 times. That's not true. No, he says, Luke, I'm your father. And like, I don't know why I didn't pull up the clip and be like, you are fucking wrong about this.
Right?
Because they were all like so sure that they were right, and they just weren't.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know. The other one is, well, I think it's like Sleeping Beauty, where everyone remembers the line as mirror, mirror on the wall, but it's actually magic mirror on the wall.
I didn't know that one. I thought it was Mirror Mirror, but I've also never seen that movie. So
I mean, it's been, God, I don't know, 20 years at least since I've seen that. But yeah, everyone, society just remembers things being one way when they ain't.
It's gotta be like referential that causes it for the most part. Like I don't know what the fuck happened with Nelson Mandela. I don't know what happened there. But like with the Star Wars thing, I think it's pretty clear that some like show writers who wanted to reference the show intentionally changed the line to Luke, I am your father, so people would know what the joke was. And then like every other time it got referenced from there, it just kept being Luke, I am your father. And I imagine it's the same thing there. It sounds more recognizable as mirror, mirror.
Right. Seeing as you brought up Star Wars, another one is C-3PO. I'm not a Star Wars fan, so I would have never even recognized this. But everyone assumes that he's completely gold, but actually one of his legs, like below the knee, is silver, apparently.
Is it really?
According to this article that I saw,
it is, but it's like it's almost like a brass silver combo, so it still looks kind of goldish. So I can see where that confusion comes from.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's pretty close. I've got one that's up your alley. Pikachu.
What about it?
Does he have black on his tail or not?
No, he does not.
Okay, apparently people remember him as having like a black tip on the end of his tail.
No, part of his tail is brown, if I remember correctly, but yeah, okay, yeah, but it's not on the tip. It's like at the base.
Yeah. I'm looking at an article that's got like side by side images. And another one is like the Monopoly guy. He does not have a monocle, but Yeah, isn't that crazy?
What a waste. Why would he not have a monocle?
Right. He's like,
He should have he does not have a monocle. You know what though? Like when you said the Monopoly Man, for some reason I thought of the Pringles can guy, and I think he does, and they're pretty similar looking. So that might be where that comes from.
okay, I thought you were going to say Mr. Peanut.
Nope, Pringles Man does not have a monocle either, so I don't know where that comes from.
Mr. Peanut, however, does have a monocle.
Oh, okay. He's got a similar style too.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of them are just like the way things are spelled. One interesting one though is Curious George.
Real quick, before we move on, did you ever see that weird Planters commercial where they fucking killed Mr. Peanut?
Yeah. Yeah. Is it the one where the Nutcracker like hisses at him?
The Nutcracker hisses at him.
There was one.
No, doesn't he fall off a cliff?
Oh, I guess we're thinking of different ones. There's one where it was like a Christmas commercial, and like Mr. Peanut's at like a Christmas party with, you know, other like classic Christmas characters, and there's a Nutcracker there, like a Christmas Nutcracker. And at some point he like gets close to Mr. Peanut and like opens his mouth and hisses at him.
Oh, no, I just looked up the commercial. I'm right. Like he's in like a car that like goes over a cliff and then he just like dies in a fiery explosion. And they end the commercial with like a Mr. Peanut 1916 to 2020 thing.
That's real dark.
Yeah, he fucking died, dude.
Oh, that's not cool.
I wonder if he's been resurrected yet.
Who knows? I haven't seen him recently, but I haven't really paid attention to it either.
I know you're not much of a Family Guy guy, but do you remember when they killed Brian in the Family Guy?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I don't.
A bunch of dumbasses got fucking tattoos.
Yeah, I don't actually I actually really like Family Guy. I just don't watch it all that often. But yeah, I do remember when they killed Brian.
A bunch of goofy motherfuckers are walking around with rest in peace Brian tattoos, and he's not dead.
Right?
Why would you ever get a Family Guy tattoo?
I don't know, because you've given up on life. It's like the face tattoo. I feel like the face tattoo is another thing where you've given up on life.
I don't know. I mean, I would never get one for myself, but there are some people who just have see a special meaning in it. But I will admit, like, the only people I've ever seen with face tattoos look extraordinarily goofy, so I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's fine if you've got it's fine. If that's what you like, then you do you, but it just seems like, oof, your face, like neck, cool, anywhere else, cool. Face just seems like that's a real strong commitment.
I'm going to get my testicles tattooed.
Didn't we make a joke like probably like a year ago about getting a tattoo of your penis on your penis?
That's right. I forgot about that. You're right. We did.
Oh, I completely forgot about that until you said getting a testicle tattoo.
Well, okay. So I'm going to get my shaft tattooed like my shaft, but then my balls, I'm going to tattoo them like two laughing, crying emojis.
Oh God. Speaking of that, I thought of an interesting testicle tattoo you could get. So you know how people get their eyebrows tattooed on?
Yeah.
You could just get pubes tattooed onto your balls. that way they look like they have pubes, but you don't actually have to deal with the grossness.
Oh, I love it.
I think we just started a whole new tattoo industry.
Yeah, for sure.
Ball tattoos.
Sounds wildly unpleasant to get, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So with the Mandela Effect, have you heard any conspiracies as to what causes it?
I'm willing to bet there's one out there about like the water supply being tainted to mask our memories or some stupid shit.
Okay, the one that I heard from our boy Ken. He and I were talking about this over the summer when the last time I hung out with him. And we were just talking about the Mandela effect, and he brought up that his brother, who I think you met because he used to come into World Market quite a bit. He's like full of all kinds of conspiracies. And I guess there's one, I think he said the idea is that we're all in comas and we're just living an alien simulation, but they like fucked something up with the simulation. And so our minds remember things one way, but then we see them in a different way.
So the Mandela effect comes from a glitch in the Matrix, is what you're saying?
Pretty much. Yep. It's a glitch.
Interesting.
Yeah. I thought that was really interesting. Ken brought up one. You're not going to know what this is, but Ken and I live pretty close to each other. And there's one area where like you cross through like a stoplight and like off on the shoulder, there's like this little like sidewalk that goes up into the woods. And he was like, yeah, have you ever noticed the sidewalk there? He's like, it didn't used to be there. And I was like, I don't know. I'll have to pay attention next time I'm driving by. And I looked at what he was talking about, and literally I had thought the exact same thing. Like previously, like I was like, oh my God, I remember thinking this sidewalk never used to be here before. And it's not like it was like a freshly like installed sidewalk, because it's like blacktop and it's all like full of cracks and shit. But both of us specifically remember that one area of sidewalk never being there. So weird.
I don't know, man. It sounds like you got suggestioned.
I mean, you can say what you want, but I definitely remember thinking that myself, right or wrong. Well, clearly it was wrong because it's always been there, but yeah, I do not remember that being there. Goofy shit.
I've got a conspiracy for you that I believe in pretty strongly.
Okay, what's that?
I believe, and I know some other people believe in this too, that the government has manufactured a pandemic so that they can put microchips in our arms via the vaccine.
Right, I have heard that.
I mean, I think that makes a lot of sense.
It makes total sense.
I mean, I haven't gotten sick yet.
Right. I haven't gotten sick, and I probably have a microchip in me because I've been vaccinated. It seems
I'll
like
probably have to cut off my arm to save myself.
It seems like maybe a tech giant like Bill Gates and Microsoft would also be behind something like that.
I wouldn't be shocked. Well, I mean, they had to get someone to develop the microchips.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And the masks, oh my God, dude, the masks are so they can deprive us of oxygen so that we can't do critical thinking to find out that we're being tricked.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's all mind control.
And also it should be legal for me to fuck my siblings.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's just a given.
I got my booster shot last week.
Oh, nice. Did you have any ill effects from that?
Yes, dude, it fucking kicked my ass.
Did it really?
Yeah, dude, I felt like shit. I got like the kind of sick where like you go to bed feeling like crap and then you wake up the next morning feeling better, but knowing you're going to have to wash your sheets during the day because they're completely soaked from sweat.
Oh. That
it was so dude, it sucked. I felt like garbage.
Huh. I guess I've been lucky because I had my first 2 shots like God, I don't know, like last April. And then I got my booster like a week or two before Thanksgiving. And I never really felt anything from any of them. So I guess I'm just, I guess I'm one of the lucky ones. The microchip didn't affect my body. So.
Well, good. I'm glad.
Yeah. Although I will say I was not feeling very well today. And we've previously talked about how like, you know, you don't like we don't call into work. And I didn't technically call in, but I went in and I worked a couple hours and it was maybe like 1:00. And I called my boss and I was like, yeah, I'm calling it a day. Like, but it wasn't like a cold. Like I almost felt like I had like food poisoning or something. And I came home and I was like, I just need to like try to sleep this off. And I like laid in bed like miserable for like 2 hours before I fell asleep. And I woke up maybe 15 minutes before you asked if I was ready, going to be ready in a half hour to record. And I woke up, I'm not feeling like perfect, but I feel like light years better than I did at 1:00. So I don't know. Maybe I did get a little bit of food poisoning. I don't really know.
Well, I hope you feel better.
Well, thank you. Like I said, I'm already feeling considerably better than I was. So I'll take that as a win. Get that W.
Get that dub, ski gamers.
Right?
I had a weird thought the other day.
Yeah, what's that?
If you consider like an elevator, and especially like an elevator that doesn't have any windows, or it's like a completely enclosed space, right?
Yeah.
Elevators are kind of the closest thing that we have to teleporters.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, it gets you.
Because like, especially with the ones where you don't have any windows you can like see out of, like you're standing in the same spot for like 15 seconds and then boom, you're in a completely different location.
Yeah. Yeah, the ones that really fuck me up are the ones where like there's doors on both sides and you like walk in and you're looking at one side and then the doors open up behind you.
Yeah, that shit throws me off.
Yeah.
Because it's never the side you think it's going to be.
Yeah, it's not. Speaking of elevators, what are your thoughts on manually walking up and down a moving escalator?
Escalator, I hardly know her.
Oh,
I don't know. I usually do it. But I don't do it if the escalator has like other people on it.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. I typically just ride it out because it's there to take me up. It really doesn't take that long. So I usually just ride it out.
But it's so fast when you just walk. It's like 3 steps and you're up.
Yeah. Yeah. Escalators. I was thinking about that recently. One of my accounts has an escalator and someone like got on and they were like hoofing it up. And I was like, you got up there like 5 seconds before I did. And I just stood here. I don't know. I feel like you need to just enjoy the automatic stairs whenever they're available to you.
But you know what, Mike?
What?
Because of the butterfly effect, those 5 seconds he saved could be the difference between him meeting or never meeting the love of his life.
That's true. That is entirely true. I mean, it could work.
You watched his entire life potential alter in that moment.
Yeah. Or maybe he went too quickly and missed out on the love of his life. You never know.
Damn, that's crazy to think about.
Yeah, the butterfly effect is super interesting. How like just the tiniest little thing can completely either change your life or potentially the world as a whole, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we need to not fuck around with time travel.
I don't think time travel will ever be possible.
I don't think so either, but I really do like the concept of time travel. Like time travel movies are great.
I think like there's not a lot of time travel media that like handles the concept very well, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's one really really interesting time travel movie, and it's a little goofy, but it's this movie called About Time, and it surrounds this guy, and apparently all of like the men in his family have the ability to like if they go into a dark place, I think maybe I know he goes into like a wardrobe, so it borders a little on like Lion the Witch in the Wardrobe, but
that's exactly what I thought of.
Yeah. There's a little Narnia vibe there. But he yeah, the men in his family can go back in time, but they can only go back to like moments that they've experienced. And the one thing that I've never heard any sort of time travel movie bring up is so his dad died, and he would go back in time and visit his dad before he passed away. And he was like getting ready to have a baby. And this was after his father had died. And right before the baby was born, his dad was like, "You can never come back and see me again." And he was like, "Well, what do you mean? Why not?" Well, because of the butterfly effect, like once you see your child, if you go back in time, the tiniest little thing will affect like what sperm causes your baby to be who it is. And so like if you went back before the birth of your child, every time you went back to present time, your kid would be different.
Interesting.
It is.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I can see that. And that's something interesting that I've never seen any time travel movie like bring up. But it makes perfect sense.
That 5 seconds for that escalator man made all the difference on which nut would create a little baby.
Exactly. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
What's your least? This is complete fucking tangent. What's your least favorite term for sperm?
Least favorite, probably spooge.
Spooge is pretty bad. My least favorite is baby batter.
I think baby batter is kind of like, I think it's so bad it's almost like kind of funny. So I kind of like it from that sense, but
it's like it can be funny, but it's so gross. Like,
yeah. In that same topic, what's your favorite?
What's my favorite?
Yeah.
Probably cummies.
I'm a big fan of jizz.
I don't know. I'm not that big on jizz personally. And you know what? You guys can cut that out and take it out of context all you want.
Yeah. There's definitely a section a couple seconds ago where I just said I'm a fan of jizz. So someone's probably gonna clip that. I love it.
You know what? Actually, this is super relevant. I didn't realize this was super relevant. I had written down a question that I had, and it's related to time travel. So fuck it, let's go to it.
Oh hell yeah, let's fucking go.
Okay, so let's imagine a scenario where you're able to go back in time, and you're able to bring one item with you, and with that one item, you have to convince the people of that time that you are a wizard. What are you bringing back?
I mean, ideally, I would say like a smartphone, but at the same time, like it's not going to function. Like there's no cell network.
Yeah, exactly. That's like an easy answer, but at the same time, it's like, well, you can't access the internet. The internet doesn't exist yet.
I mean, I suppose if you had like some media content, like downloaded, you could play that and they would think you're a wizard because there's like people moving inside of this little tiny device.
You'd be like, this is a portal to the future.
Right.
And then you just saw him a fucking TikTok dance.
Yes, exactly. A TikTok dance. Oh, what do you have one that you would want to take back to be thought of as a wizard?
I think I would bring back a high frame rate camera that I could take slow motion video with and show it to them.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of somewhat similar to like if you brought a phone, because you could take photos and videos and blow their minds.
But I just think like they'd be so fucking freaked out if I just like, if I filmed like one of them jumping in the water and I showed them like the water moving super slowly as it like explodes around them. That would be something they would have never ever seen before.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like a video of like, well, balloons might not exist whatever time you're going back to, but like a video of like a balloon being popped and how it like ripples and all that good stuff.
You know, yeah, oh, for sure. If I was being like a really good Samaritan, I would go back into like Viking time, and I would find like the wife of a Viking who is frequently like going off on long journeys of war and isn't home a lot, and I just hand her a fucking vibrator and be like, "Go to town, honey."
Okay, right on. Yeah.
I don't know if that would make her, I don't know if that would convince her that I'm a wizard. I'm just helping her out at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Just get her, just give her a vibrator and like a Costco sized pack of batteries and just tell her to have at it.
Yeah. It's all well and good till the ladies in the village start sharing.
Oh, yeah.
They wouldn't know. They wouldn't know about the hygienics.
That actually kind of sounds like the plot of like a weird period porno.
I can see it. Time traveler brings a vibrator back. All the women start experimenting.
Right. Just passing it around to each other. Oh God, we talk about some of the goofiest shit, but I love it.
We talk about gross shit.
Yeah. It's cool though. So I had an awkward moment happen in the last week. And it was super awkward, and it's something that you and I have kind of talked about before. But I was at the grocery store and I go into the bathroom, and you know how we've talked previously about like little kids that just like straight up like pull their pants completely down at the urinal?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I walk in the bathroom and there's a dude considerably older than me.
Oh no.
And they weren't down to the ground, but they were definitely like probably down to like knee level.
Oh no, come on, bro.
And he wasn't actively going to the bathroom. I really don't know what he was doing, because he was turned like when I walked in, if he was using the urinal, his back would have been to me. But he was turned like sideways. And thankfully I didn't notice his Johnson, but like I just walked in and I go, "Oh Jesus," and then just went into a stall. Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know.
So uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but I made sure to like go into the stall, and even though I was just going in to take a piss, they only had one urinal that he was clearly occupying. So I just dropped trow and sat down until he left the bathroom, because I did not want to make eye contact with that dude.
That's totally valid.
Yeah. So that's my awkward moment of the last week. Ugh.
I don't have any from recent time, but I did remember one that I wrote down.
Nice. What do you got?
So you remember, obviously, doing online order returns at World Market was a fucking pain in the ass.
Oh yeah, it was a nightmare.
Because like whatever, like they had a super convoluted process for how we would do it. And like, and this is not hyperbole, like depending on who you got on the phone, it could be like a 10-minute phone call, or you could be on the phone for like an hour.
Right. That is completely accurate.
Because World Market was fucking stupid and never integrated like their online order system into the registers, because the registers were legitimately older than I am. And, you know, that meant that anytime we had an online order term, we had to like call World Market customer support and like work through it with them. And it was a pain in the ass. And at the end of the call, they would always like give us a reference number, but I never wrote it down because we never, ever, ever needed it.
Right.
And I was on the phone with one of these online order people, and she gave me the reference number, and I said, "Okay, got it." And then she goes, "Can you read that back to me?"
Oof! How did you handle that?
Well, I froze for a second, like trying to remember what she had just said, because I didn't even bother with writing it down. I just pretended I did, and so I was like, what the fuck? What were the numbers she said? Maybe I can just remember. And then like I just gave up and was like, I didn't actually write that down. And she fucking read me the riot act about how important these fucking numbers are and how I need to make sure to write it down. And then I wrote it down and then I threw it away as soon as I was off the phone, and I didn't need it ever.
Yeah. Yeah. I never had anyone like want to verify it or call me out, but I definitely did the same thing. At some point, I just stopped writing them down because, like you said, we never actually used them for anything.
Never. It was so fucking awkward. I felt like when a teacher like calls you out for not doing something or something like that. It was just like, I didn't do it.
Yeah, or like when you were in class and you like blatantly weren't paying attention, like either like maybe you fell asleep in class or you were just like, I don't know, like just doing whatever, like talking to one of your friends or just not paying attention. And then the teacher calls on you and they ask you the answer to like a question or like a math problem. And you're like, yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah, nah. It was very awkward. I did not like that experience. And I also didn't like her because she was wrong. We did not need those numbers.
No, we didn't. Because I think
I feel like
even if we had them, I don't think they would ever have actually helped us in any way.
No, I really doubt it. I feel like maybe because the people that we spoke to were the same people that customers spoke to. And so I think like maybe those reference numbers are probably useful for customers. And that's why she's so anal about it. Because for customers, they need to make sure they have it. But for us, it never mattered.
No. I don't know if we've ever talked about this in the podcast, but remember how much like the FedEx guy hated us?
We did talk about this a little bit, I think. That guy hated us, and warranted, mind you. It was totally warranted.
Yeah. No, I get that. We wasted a considerable amount of his time, but it also wasn't completely our fault because a lot of times the company wouldn't tell us when there was something that was going to be picked up and when it was being picked up. He would just show up and we wouldn't be ready for him.
He'd show up with a shipping label that had no details about what was going back, and so we would just hand him something. And sometimes we wouldn't know if we even had anything to give him.
Yeah. I remember for a while, just like there were so many times where the company just never like sent FedEx to pick up the stuff. And we just had like a collection growing. And so whenever he would come, I would just be like, oh, this item's been here for 3 months. Just slap the label on it and give it to him.
Yeah, man. Their whole system for like keeping track of items that should have gone back was clearly not very good. I imagine their inventory was fucked.
Oh, absolutely. Well, remember like kind of like towards the end of our time at World Market, when our manager Tom was just like, yeah, we're just going to start selling this stuff at like extreme discount.
Yeah, man.
It'd be like a $400 rug or like a $300 chair and we'd sell it for like $30 just to get rid of it.
I had to try so hard to sell some of that stuff. It just like, no matter how low I marked it down, nobody wanted it.
Yeah, well, because in some of those cases, like if it was like a chair and, people wanted like more than the quantity we had, it might not be available for them to order online anymore. Or if they did, they were buying like one brand new from the store for like $30 and then $300 online. Like,
yeah,
they're like, I like this for 30. I don't like it for 300. And I need like 4 of them and you have 1. So yeah, I'm willing to spend, whatever, like $120 if you had 4 of these at $30, but I'm not willing to spend, $930 if I'm buying 1 here and 3 of them online. I think my math was right there. Man.
I don't know. I started to yawn in the middle of that, so I kind of lost focus, but I'll just trust that it was good.
Yeah, well, we can edit that in post. It's fine.
God, you say that as a joke, but like in my time as an interviewer, there are a lot of times people said stuff like that, and it's like, fix what? You just said something stupid. I can't fix you sounding like a fucking idiot.
Right. Yeah. Oh, God.
Like, listen, editors can do a lot, but we're not gods.
Right. We can't completely change the stupid thing you just said. Like, you could cut it out completely, but you can't, like, you can't fix what dumb thing they said.
Here's what I'm going to do, but I'm going to feed your whole interview into an AI that is then going to replicate your speech patterns, and then I will type out what you meant to say and have it read that, and that's how we'll fix it.
Yeah. You brought up something really interesting, how you kind of spaced for a second because you yawned. Do you ever notice, this is something that happens to me, and I've brought this up to a few people and they don't know what I'm talking about. But when I yawn, I have trouble hearing. Like, it's like my hearing goes from like normal level to like 5% hearing during the yawn and then immediately back to normal.
No, that's definitely a thing. Like there's like a sound that yawning makes that like blocks out the rest of the sound.
Yeah. Okay, good.
I know what you're talking about. You're not crazy. That's definitely a thing.
Okay, right on. There is a weird thing that a little quirk that I have, and I've only met a couple people who know what I'm talking about, and I had to look it up online, and it apparently is a thing, but sometimes if I look at the sun, it makes me sneeze.
I have heard people say that. That has never happened to me.
Yeah, like if I'm driving and the sun's in my eyes, I'll frequently go into like a sneezing fit.
Yeah, I've heard multiple people say that, so I fully like trust that it's a thing, but I've never experienced that, and I don't know what could possibly cause that.
Yeah, I don't know either, but it's really bad this time of year because like while I'm out driving most of the day, this time of year in Michigan, like the sun is like frequently in the process of setting for like most of the day. So from probably like 11 a.m. until the sun goes down, it's always like at a level where it's in your eyes. It's never like straight up in the air. It's really bad because of how short our days are.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's not cool. So I don't know if you've heard, you probably haven't paid much attention, but we're supposed to get like snowpocalypse here, like starting in, I don't know, like 10 hours.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, I think from like 4 a.m. Wednesday through like 11 p.m. Thursday, we're supposed to get anywhere between like 8 and like 16 inches of snow.
That sounds miserable.
Yeah. I mean, you would literally have no one at your current job show up for work if that was the case.
No, not at all.
Because they couldn't handle like the 5 inches you got.
That's what she said.
Oh, nothing like a good 5-inch joke. Am I right?
Just a little 5-incher for the ladies.
Yeah, you know, if you're thinking 3 inches,
It's about how you use it, boys.
if you're thinking 3 inches, you'd be thinking correct.
You're thinking correct.
God, we haven't talked about blonde boys in a long time.
No, sir. God,
Oh.
what a good fucking video.
That is a great fucking video.
I think it's been a while, but it passed 10 million views, I think.
Did you end up singing it on your last 24-hour stream?
No, I don't believe I did.
Damn. That sucks, because you went hard on that for like possibly all of them up until this last one.
I don't know if I've done it all of them. I don't know. There was the one in particular where I like really went hard on it, and that's the one that I like uploaded, but
Oh, just going hard on 3 inches.
you know how I be.
Yeah. Oh.
SPF 100, I hope it's in stock because I rub it on my dick and the belly of my cock. That's not it. I rub it on my nips and the belly of my cock.
Yeah,
That's
my
it.
nips. Yep, rubbing it on my nips. Oh,
Those
goof.
blonde boys. They're doing what blonde boys do.
They are. Oh.
But anyway, yeah, that snow sounds terrible, and I don't envy you. It's supposed to get warmer throughout the rest of this week here, so.
Yeah, and I have to spend. Well, it's not bad now. I took Lily out to go to the bathroom right before we started, and I looked, and I think it's like 47 degrees outside. But yeah, we're
Not for long.
Yeah, we're supposed to get like a shit ton of snow. I don't know what the temp is supposed to be like, but it's actually not going to be all that cold. Looks like we got a high of 36 tomorrow, and then it's going to drop to 24 on Thursday. But that's, at least it's not like that polar vortex cold where it's like minus 20.
Anything below 35 is too cold for me.
I would say my baseline is usually like 15 to 20. Like I'm up until that point, I just deal with it because I understand it's winter and that's how winter works. But yeah, when it gets below, like, I'll say below 20, that's just like miserable, especially if it's windy.
Oh God, yeah. It hurts to be outside at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, that sucks. It's really, really not great.
I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward to spring here. I can't wait.
I like spring. I prefer fall because you've got like a similar weather pattern. Only things tend to be like a little drier in the fall. And everything is like rainy and you've got like snow melting. So you got a lot of mud in the spring. But the weather itself isn't too bad.
In Michigan, you do. That doesn't happen most places.
Well, yeah.
Most places the snow is gone by spring.
Yeah, okay, I guess that's a thing.
I am with you though. I really appreciated fall here. I generally speaking, I think we've spoken about this. I do like fall. I just never have particularly liked fall over spring because fall in Michigan is like a 3-week period and then it starts snowing in November. And like I'm not about that shit. But here in Oregon, fall was lovely. I had a really nice fall. I really liked fall.
Okay, right on. Yeah, I really like that like super early fall where it's, like the end of September and um at least in Michigan, like it's like not cold, but it's not hot anymore. Like you're floating in like the mid 60s and like the trees still have leaves and everything is green. That's like the peak time for me. But you're right, it only lasts like 3 weeks.
Yeah, and then it's just cold.
Just cold and miserable. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'll see how spring is here. I think I'm gonna like spring a lot because I mean it rained a ton throughout the fall, so I'm sure it's gonna rain even more during the spring, and then it'll warm up at the time it's supposed to, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be great.
Nice. Well, you've talked before about how much you love the rain.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a broken record. Like I don't even know if people really understand how much I love the rain.
Yeah. And I've probably said this too, because it's like my one thing about the rain. Taking a nap in the rain is like the freaking best.
It is the best.
God, it's just so freaking relaxing. Like if it's like a hard rain, like on your window, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, that's great. They have where I live, because everybody around here bikes, they have like these big bike storage spots that are like fenced in and have like a metal roof. And so when it rains, the rain all pours down on those metal roofs and makes a really loud sound, and it's awesome.
That's cool. Yeah. The place where I live, it's got carports with metal roofs, and that same thing happens, and it's awesome.
Dude, having a carport is sick. I've never had one before this place.
Yeah, I actually don't have one now just because I don't feel like paying for it. It's like an extra monthly fee. But yeah, I have had them previously, and they are pretty cool.
Where I live, they don't cost anything. That's all there is. So, but man, it's nice. Like I mean, I guess it's not a huge benefit most of the year, but like that one time it snowed, it was really nice not having to brush off my car.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotcha. I've had to use the remote start a fair amount to kind of get a head start on getting the car cleaned off a few times. Because we've had some really cold ass weather. Like there was one day last week, I left for work and it was like 5 degrees outside.
Oh.
Yeah, it was not great. Not at all.
We had some pretty cold weather last week, but it didn't, like, the lowest it got was like one day that I left for work, it was 27.
Oh God, no. I think it was like 25 today, and I was like, it's not too bad out here.
Oh man.
It's relative to what you're used to,
but I'm not, like, I was never used to Michigan's weather. I never got used to it. It was always miserable.
No, I get that. But like when you're coming out of winter into spring and you have like a 50-degree day, you're like, damn, it feels great. I'm just going to wear a t-shirt out. But that same 50-degree day in the fall, you're like, God damn, it's cold. I need a fucking sweatshirt and a jacket.
Oh yeah, you do have a point.
So yeah, even though you may never get like used to it, your body does adjust to it somewhat,
Yeah, I gotcha. No, it's been nice here. Like I like to take my lunch breaks out in my car because I don't like people seeing me when I'm eating, I guess. And it's just comfortable because I can just like kick my feet up in my back seat and just chill. And even though we had some colder weather, like even now, like late January, there's a lot of days that I go out there and I don't even have to start my car to warm it up because it's like the sun has kept it warm enough in my car that I don't really need to do that.
Nice. I thought of something really funny just now. So today is February 1st, and it is the birthday of our old coworker Darius. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I only know because of Facebook, but there was 1 year where Darius was complaining to Andre that nobody wished him a happy birthday on Facebook. And Andre was like, well, do you have your birthday listed on Facebook? And he was like, oh, no. And so Andre was like, well, how the hell do you expect like a majority of people to remember when your birthday is? Oh, that dude. Love him.
That dude. Happy birthday, Darius. Thanks for being a podcast subject.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And thank you, listeners, for listening to another hour of Mac and Mike just literally have a conversation, and for some reason people listen to it sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes, not all the time.
Bye.